Oh man, so Charlamagne the God is clapping back at Larry Elder and giving him Donkey of the Day after being destroyed in the debate with him last week. I'm going to check this out and see what Charlamagne has to say, but I'm also going to tell y'all my opinion about both sides, you feel me? And why I think all this shit is pointless. I think it's all pointless. So hold tight for that. Let's get to this.
Well, Donkey of the Day for Wednesday, August 23rd. Goes to Mr. Larry Elder. And not just Larry Elder, all you fake supporters who let Larry Elder down. See, Larry Elder was a guest here on the Breakfast Club last week, and he's more than welcome to come back. He was here because he's running for president of the United States of America. But also, he was trying to make the GOP debate stage, which is tonight. In order to make the GOP stage, you have to meet the polling and donor requirements needed for the debate, okay? 8 candidates have done that. Larry Elder is not one of them. When he was here last week, I asked him about an op-ed he wrote where he discussed the RNC debate limits, and he said that they are bad for the party and the American people. He feels the RNC has rigged the rules of the game by setting a criteria that is poorly designed, and only establishment-backed and billionaire candidates are guaranteed to be on stage. Can we flash back to that conversation from last week? Is this system holding you back?
Go ahead.
Would you say it's a system holding you back?
I would say it's unfair. It seems to me this early, the voters ought to decide this. I mean, in 2016, there were 17 or 18 Republican candidates. Now there's 13. Somehow, some way, our republic survived, and we could survive with 13 candidates. I don't know why they have all this rule to eliminate certain people at this point.
Those systems,
but rather than
those systems can hold you back no matter how hard you work, right?
No, I'm going to say, but rather than whine about it, my goal is to get on as many shows as I can, like yours. Urge people to go to LarryElder.com, give at least $1, even if you want somebody else.
Can hurt you no matter how hard you work, right, Larry? But Larry said instead of whining about it, he's going to come on more shows like Breakfast Club and just encourage people to work towards getting him on that stage. Well, Larry Elder must have changed his mind because he is now planning to sue the RNC after failing to make the first primary debate. He posted on Twitter yesterday, I said from the beginning that it appeared the rules of the game were rigged. Little did we know just how rigged it is. For some reason, the establishment leaders at the RNC are afraid of having my voice on the debate stage. As I told him last week, sometimes, Larry, no matter how hard you work, there are systems in place that are just rigged against you, okay? Trust me, as Black Americans, we know this. You know this too, okay? My question is, when Black people bring up systemic racism, institutionalized racism, whether you want to, whatever you want to call it, whether it's in the criminal justice system or education or healthcare, home ownership, food insecurity, whatever it is, we are told by the Larry Elders of the world not to whine about it, which is something we discussed a lot last week and why we kept bringing it back to systems, because when things are systemically done to a people, to put people in a certain condition, it's going to take something systemic to change it, which is why Larry Elder is saying he's going to sue the RNC. Now, on Fox News on August 18th, Larry Elder said he was still 2,000 unique donors shy.
Okay, so I want to pause this real quick. I see both sides, and I think for whatever reason, this is what we do. This is what we do. When you on two sides of the same damn coin, this is what the hell we do. We both have the same goal. But then when you just know that you're not on the same team, you try to convince the other side or try to convince the people while talking to the other side why they're wrong, but you're just arguing semantics. In my opinion, both people do the same thing, whether it's Black conservatives or Black liberals. Both are acknowledging some issues that we have. And while doing that, you do what you have to do to galvanize the troops for support as you're going to track towards your goal. You're getting more people on your side, on your team. You're acknowledging whatever the issue is. Then you're saying, this is what we're going to do to combat that issue. Now, I think both sides do the same thing. But why is one side, when they're doing it, it's called whining, and the other side is, when they're doing it, they're saying that they're acknowledging what's wrong. But once they acknowledge what's wrong, they go through the process to fix it. Charlamagne and DJ Envy are both people from poor and disenfranchised backgrounds. They have no problem with acknowledging what's wrong, but still pull themselves up by the bootstraps to find themselves in the position that they're in. What's the difference, in my opinion? The only difference is that we're so stuck on this party shit that we don't realize we all have the same goal and we all are fighting towards the same thing together, but we all want to sit and harp on what caused it. Fuck what caused it. We still got to get through it. Damn.
Of the debates, 40,000 minimum to qualify. A threshold, he says, as of August 21st, he met. Larry Elder has also reportedly not met the RNC's polling requirement of at least 1% in 3 qualifying state and national polls. And that's all according to his Fox News interview on August 18th. But according to him, he has 2. He did say he said he had 2 on Fox News. Well, Politico says otherwise. Okay, Politico said he didn't meet the donor or polling requirements, and Larry said the committee only informed him after sending in his qualification package for the debate that polls from a specific polling company he used weren't valid. Hey man, I don't know what's what. I'm just giving you what's out there and letting you know Larry Elder didn't make the debate stage, and now he's suing the RNC. Personally, I think he should just work harder. Okay, we have some audio of Larry Elder. TMZ called him at the airport yesterday, right? Let's hear it.
As you can see, I'm at LAX en route to Milwaukee. I was just informed by the RNC that I'm not qualified for the debate. Why? Even though I exceeded the 40,000 individual donations required.
Allegedly.
Even though I signed the pledge to support the eventual nominee. Even though I submitted 3 polls where I was at least at 1%, I was informed that one of the polls is not eligible. It's the Rasmussen poll, even though it was the most accurate poll in predicting that Donald Trump would win in 2016. They say it is affiliated with Donald Trump and therefore it is not eligible. So we're filing an emergency injunction to get me up there. This is absolutely BS. One of the candidates, by the way, offered a $20 gift certificate for a $1 donation. That apparently is okay. Yep. Another one offered a free, air quotes, country western concert for a $1 donation. That apparently is okay. It is designed, in my opinion, to make sure that Ron DeSantis is the nominee. Anybody other than Trump. This is BS. I will see you in Milwaukee. Out.
Oh, Larry Elder taking down the whole CMB. Listen, man, the next GOP debate is September 27th at a library named after Larry Elder's favorite president, Ronald Reagan. It's the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, and it's in California, Larry Elder's home state. I don't think Larry Elder should sue because I don't believe it's the system holding him back. I believe he just has to work harder. Okay, you and your social media team and everyone who enjoyed you destroying the Breakfast Club last week just simply have to work harder. Boots to ground. And when those boots hit the ground, grab those bootstraps and pull yourself up, okay? You can't whine and complain about a system being rigged if you don't want black Americans whining and complaining about systemic racism, okay?
Hello.
Then you have to continue to lead by example, Larry, okay? And you can't complain about the RNC system either. Now, you're not making this an issue of race because you don't believe in systemic racism, and I don't believe this is an issue of race. It's an issue of corruption because that's what politics are. There's corruption on both sides, Democrat and Republican. But like I said to you, when you were here, one party seems to still care about democracy, the other is leaning towards fascism. And by your own admission, it's a rigged system. That's what happens in a fascist society. Okay, Ben Johnson also says he wants to sue the RNC. He said in a statement that the RNC knew who they wanted on the stage from the beginning and who they wanted to ban from the stage. And this is a flawed decision of a poorly run process of a corrupt organization. He also said that the Rasmussen poll, that poll has ties to former President Donald Trump, an individual who is not even participating in the upcoming debate.
It's probably going to get lost in translation because, yeah, Charlamagne is being petty, he's being salty because the perception that he got demolished in the debate. I think he believes that Larry is doing the right thing to fight against the decision that was made by the RNC. I think he doesn't really care in the grand scheme of things if he did do it. The thing is, Charlamagne feels like when we do it, it's a problem just because when black people use the same process to bring attention to wrongdoing of a set system, it's called complaining and whining instead. But when you have the chance to do something similar, you don't throw the race card out there, you don't throw these things out there, but you still find a way to bring attention to a system that you feel is flawed.
He has no knowledge. You just heard him. He said he has no knowledge about whether or not Trump has ever worked with this poll. Yeah, Larry, you don't have knowledge on that, but no matter how much you deflect, you know what fascism is. You know what it looks like. And you know it's the rejection of democracy, the rule of law, and equal rights under the law in favor of a strong man, strong leader, Donald Trump, who can maintain social order through the use of force. That is Trump. So, of course, the RNC knew who they wanted on stage. I don't know if Trump is connected to this poll or not, but wouldn't surprise me because in a party infected with fascism, the fight is always going to be fixed. Just like in America, for certain communities, the fight is always going to be fixed. And that's not being a victim, that's just telling the truth. And if it's not telling the truth, then Larry, right now, you are being a victim. Okay, but I don't want you to be a victim. I don't know what the qualifications for the second debate are, but I do know that if you want to beat this system, Larry, you got to work. Those bootstraps ain't going to pull themselves up, okay? Get your people active because y'all can post that clip of Larry Elder having an opinion about Joe Biden's "You Ain't Black" comments 40,000 times, but what Larry needed was 40,000 people to donate $1. Okay?
Damn.
There's over 45,000 comments on Breakfast Club's YouTube page underneath the Larry Elder interview. He easily has more than 1% support on those comments, but what Larry needed was to be polling at 1% in 3 qualifying state and national polls in order to make that debate stage tonight. Larry, your people got to get the bootstrap pulling. Okay, all that whining and complaining about myself and Tesla and envy the Democrats, that means nothing if you don't show up when it counts. Redirect that energy so Larry can make the GOP debate stage, because to quote Larry, I have very little patience for the message of victimhood you are currently peddling. Please let Remy Ma give Larry Elder the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, you stupid motherfucker, are you dumb?
I'm genuinely disappointed that you can't destroy the Breakfast Club and not make the debate stage, okay? They said Vivek destroyed the Breakfast Club.
Correct.
He made the debate stage.
He did.
Drop on a clues bomb for Vivek, okay? I'm happy for that. All right?
Larry didn't.
You come on now. You know? Make the most of your opportunities.
Larry.
Stop doing that. Okay? That's my middle name. That's my daddy's name. You cut that out. All right? Stop that. That's very triggering. All right?
It's the finger point for me.
It is. My inner child still has triggers because of stuff like that.
Really?
You cut it out.
Okay.
All right, so once again, I'm dead in the middle of this whole situation because I feel like we all just on the same damn side, bro. But I think that because we got to pick teams for whatever reason, we got to pick our team. We end up arguing about semantics instead of finding solutions to fix our issues. And sometimes publicly acknowledging the issue helps you go ahead and bring attention to it, so that brings more heads and ideas and thoughts, great thinking people to figure out a way to find solutions. I don't think it's just complaining when you are acknowledging the issue. Sometimes you got to let people know how important this issue is, so we can figure out how to fix this obstacle. See, I hate a lot of debate like these because in my opinion it's pointless. At the end of the day, we are in this position because we lost a war that we didn't know that we were fighting until it was too late, like years too late, like centuries too late. I am someone that thinks like no matter what, I gotta work hard to get myself out of my situation. I can't rely on nobody but myself. But at the same damn time, I'm not gonna be keen with the people that put me in a situation to act like it don't exist. See, I love football, man, so I'm gonna say it like this. If you're playing offense and you're playing running back, then your goal is to score a touchdown. I know the defense is there to stop me from scoring a touchdown, but I'm not gonna complain on my way to score the touchdown. At the same damn time, it's still fuck the D-line, it's still fuck the linebackers, it's still fuck the DBs. But in the meantime, I'm still gonna try to score the touchdown, but I'm gonna be diving like Marshawn Lynch said, hold my nuts on my way in the end zone. That's what I'm gonna be doing. See, I acknowledge that the barriers are there and they're gonna be tough to get through, but I'm still gonna do my best to get through them. If I don't, then I just lose. Oh well. I'm not going to act like the defense is not there for me not to score though. But it's on me to develop my skills in the meantime. Develop myself to make it harder for them to stop me. You feel me? So to wrap it back around to Larry Elder and the Breakfast Club's argument, it's pointless to me, dog. Yes, we do have an issue with fatherless homes. What are we going to do to fix them? Find the solutions. We should be focusing on finding the solutions. I do think it's pointless to sit and wonder why we are in this position. Why do we have so many fatherless homes? I do think it's pointless. But if we have to entertain the reason why, yes, one of the main reasons why black families are in this position is because of systemic racism. It's in my opinion that the black community was tag teamed by welfare and the war on drugs. That's my opinion. My generation has parents that were directly affected by those things. So that means that a lot of us adults were raised in fatherless homes, and that affects our character. So if you look outside and you wonder why things are the way they are, there's your answer. As far as the rules that are in place today, present day, I think through a lot of us expressing ourselves, things have changed, but we still are feeling some ripple effects of what happened before that. But that's only if we have to talk about why we are in this position. The work still has to be done to pull us out of this position. We still have to do the work. No matter what, we still have to do the work. And despite the barriers that the system does place out there for us, the work begins when us as individuals make concerted efforts to go ahead and make sure that we are creating families, giving our children the best opportunity to be the best version of themselves. Making sure those children are brought up into great communities that has the opportunities, the resources out there that gives them all the options possible to make sure their dreams come true. So that trickles into the fathers of that community, making sure that community is safe, building relationships with the other parents to make sure we have checks and balances all around the community. See, one thing I do see that a lot of black conservatives do, they speak about black issues, but when it comes to their daily lives, they are the furthest way from black people. I personally do want you to get the most out of your life. Like no matter what you want in life, go ahead and get it. But if your concerns are your personal wishes to be granted as a black person, then that's your concerns. Your concerns aren't the black community. That's perfectly fine. But sometimes some people, you are just a black individual that want the most. You want the world. You want the access of everything possible to come to you as an individual. If that's what you want out of your life, fine. Okay, cool. But in my humble opinion, I believe that a lot of those folks, when it comes to speaking out online, they speak on the black community like they do care. You feel me? They focus on it like they do care. They talk about all the issues possible that's plaguing the black community. They talk about all of them. But once again, in real life, you're not even associating with the black community. So why do you even care? It makes me believe that your point of even discussing these things is knowing that you can be incentivized to shit on the black community to show that you're one of the smart ones, the good ones, and it helps your personal life where you don't even associate with the folks. You could call it cooning for views. You can call it that. Because we have to acknowledge the difference between folks that make careers about discussing issues in the black community, but most of it just being lip service. I want to know like what you guys do on the groundwork. Like, are you in these communities on a day-to-day? Are you going through the public school system and seeing what's going on? Are you visiting these schools? Are you visiting these youth football leagues, these youth basketball leagues? Are you talking to the police officers in those communities? Are you trying to understand the mentality of the parents in those communities? Are you doing the groundwork? Like, are you going to those HBCUs to tell them to listen? You should be focusing on A and B to get to Z while you're here. Not to be focusing on just partying and possibly getting knocked up or having children while you're in college and dropping out and stuff. Are you focusing on the kids that's in the concentrated areas of black people and informing them on the importance of the family structure? Because in my opinion, if you really cared about your people, then you on the ground and doing that. And I don't care how many issues you may receive because you may be a black conservative and those folks are liberals at those schools. That's just another obstacle for you to get over. And you are somebody that cares that much, then you don't give a damn about obstacle. You got to go ahead and still force your way in to provide those kids with different perspectives so they can think for themselves. Yeah, dog, from what I see, I just see a lot of lip service from some black conservatives. I see black liberals that I don't know if it's just because that's where they're located, but I see them in the communities more working with these poor and disenfranchised children and stuff like that. Maybe because that's just where they are because of their circumstances. And once again, I do understand that some black conservatives may feel like they're just not wanted. But listen, at some point you weren't wanted in your position, in your area that you're in now, maybe your home or whatever. You may have not been wanted there at some point in time, but you said, I don't care. I'm going to make myself a functioning member of this group, this area, this society. So force your way into these neighborhoods with these poor and disenfranchised youth. Force your way there. Make your presence felt. If you care that much about the black community, go and make your presence felt. But nah, when it comes to real life and real time, I see where you guys mostly are. I see it. Once again, a lot of times when these people are speaking, they are speaking to get more opportunities for themselves, not to go ahead and provide more opportunities for somebody else. Like, look at Larry Elder. The whole time he's speaking about these things and going on the Breakfast Club and destroying the Breakfast Club, quote unquote. All of this is being done for the chance to be able to go ahead and have a seat at the table at the RNC debate. Y'all gotta let me know if y'all understand what I'm saying, dog. Like, this is a problem when you are someone that looks at both sides. If you don't shit on the opposite side enough, then people just discount what you're saying. But I'm sorry, man, I'm just somebody that see perspective. I don't feel like complaining about a system all damn day, but I know the system exists. But oh well, I'm still gonna work hard to do whatever I got to. But I do understand people that do complain about the system because it gives them support. As they go ahead and fight, support helps you and empowers you to go and fight through adversity. So that's the reason I think Larry Elder is on his platform letting people know how he feels wronged by the RNC and saying that he's going to sue and having people speak out to pressure them. I think people in the black community that do complain about systemic racism use the same tactics to go ahead and galvanize the troops to complain and pressure people to change certain things. Over time, some things have changed, but still, because of some systems that were put in place, we are still feeling some ripple effects by the mentalities that those systems created. It's the mentality of someone wanting to take advantage of welfare, the mentality of a woman saying she doesn't need a man because she had to go without being there with the man for so long. the defense mechanism that the black women in our community had to build because of systemic racism. And yes, a lot of people were weak-minded and fell for the trap, fell for the bait, but that just wasn't in the black community. That wasn't only us. A lot of people in the white community did the same exact thing, but we are the minority here, and we already were fighting from behind. We were already playing from behind. They had years of a head start as far as the entire community, but there still are some poor whites that are affected by welfare by a great amount. If you guys seen what was going on in Mississippi, if you was looking at the situation when it came to the Brett Favre shit, there's a lot of whites that was affected by the whole ordeal with the Brett Favre situation. There's a lot of white poor people over there. But once again, due to the 400 years head start when it came to that situation, in comparison, they have a lot more representation in the different tax brackets. And plus, it's just more of them. Us in the black community, we were already behind. We had no room for any mistakes, but we took some of the biggest mistakes from that long time period. And just with the fast 15, 20 years, we getting things together as far as the mentality, you know. I'm interested. I'm excited to see the kids that we're going to create. I think we are going to do it. The ones that's watching this video, having these discussions, I'm excited to see the kids that we're going to create. And I think conversations like these are important when it comes to building the mind state of us as parents, grandparents, aunties, uncle, big cousins, all that stuff like that. I think these conversations are important when it comes to those things, to tell these kids no matter what situation that you're placed in, the burden is still on you to figure out a way to get up out of there, because the world owes you no understanding. Even your own people, as you see, are going to tell you they don't care. You got to figure out a way. It's your boy Stacy. I'm out.